4 Meji YouTube video K Lia Oper Jo Tum NY Story Lik KDHS K Oper Time En Strong Hook Lik K Do. Hook Jandar. Suspenseful our curiosity Sai Bar Por Hona Chaye K Mary Veur Engage Ho JN our video Ko NTK Deck and the kitchen smelled sweet and unfamiliar. I watched my mother stir the bubbling pot with trembling hands. Steam curled around her face, hiding her eyes. Something about the air felt heavier than usual. The knife glinted sharply on the counter, though it had never scared me before. I leaned closer to the pot, and a strange aroma hit my nose, earthy, metallic, and oddly pungent. My mother hummed softly, a tune I had never heard. The walls seemed to close in, painted with shadows that shifted with every flicker of the light. I reached for a spoon, drawn by curiosity I could not explain. The surface of the mixture rippled as if it had a life of its own. I saw something move beneath the thick, glossy sauce. A shiver ran down my spine, but my hand continued, guided by an invisible force. Then I saw it clearly, and my stomach turned. I could not look away, even as my mind screamed to stop. The room felt colder, and the sweet aroma now stung my nostrils sharply. My mother's smile widened, and it was not the smile I knew. I realized then that this recipe held a secret far darker than I could imagine. My mother's eyes glimmered strangely in the dim light, reflecting a fire that was not there. Her hands moved with precision, yet there was an unnatural stiffness in her wrists. I noticed a faint tremor in her fingers, as if each movement cost her more than I could understand. The steam from the pot clouded my vision, wrapping the room in a fog that made every sound seem distant and warped. I could hear the dripping of water from the sink, each drop echoing like a clock counting down to something I did not yet know. The walls, once warm and inviting, now seemed to breathe, contracting and expanding in rhythm with my own racing heartbeat. The aroma of the dish grew stronger, almost pungent, curling into the corners of my mind and making it hard to think clearly. I inched closer, drawn by a curiosity that felt almost unnatural, a pull I could not resist even as fear rooted me in place. The mixture in the pot shivered and quivered as though alive, tiny bubbles forming and popping in unpredictable patterns. I squinted, trying to make sense of the shapes beneath the glossy surface. It looked like small fragments, twisted and unnatural, that shimmered when the light hit them. My throat tightened, and a chill ran down my spine. I wanted to speak, to ask my mother what was in the recipe, but my lips refused to move. The humming she made continued, low and melodic, yet the tone now carried a sharp, hollow edge that made my teeth ache. I realized I had never heard this melody before, though I had lived in this house my entire life. The room grew heavier, each breath feeling like I was inhaling lead. My eyes darted to the shadows along the corners of the kitchen, and I could swear they shifted when I looked away. A low, almost imperceptible sound began beneath the humming, a wet slithering that made my stomach churn. I tried to step back, but my feet felt glued to the floor, as if the tiles themselves had grown sticky overnight. The light flickered, briefly plunging the room into darkness, and when it returned, the shapes in the pot had moved closer to the surface. I could see small, delicate strands floating just above the thick sauce, glistening in the flickering light. The strands looked like hair, fine and dark, and each one twisted unnaturally. I gagged, but some part of me refused to look away. My mother leaned closer to the pot, her eyes narrowing, her lips parting in a grin that no longer seemed human. She whispered something so softly I almost did not hear it. The words slithered into my mind, not spoken aloud but felt directly in my skull. You must taste it. Only then will you understand. A cold sweat broke across my back. I wanted to scream, but no sound came. I felt my hand reach out, against every instinct, toward the spoon. It hovered above the pot, shaking violently as if it had a life of its own. The strange aroma now seemed to burn, filling every corner of my lungs with a scent that was both alluring and repulsive. My vision blurred slightly, the edges